Just when you thought there could not be more change going on in the world, magnetic north is moving. Aviators know it has always moved, but not like this. It's just skipping along. It's on the move about 40 miles a year now along the polar cap toward Russia. It's a natural, unstoppable occurrence, but
the compass is becoming more inaccurate every day. It's not a result of faulty manufacturing. It's because the North Pole itself is changing. Follow me now. This problem is actually so drastic that workers at Tampa International and Peter O. Knight airports are rushing to make changes. And Brooks Garner, our meteorologist and local science, do we dare say nerd, spent the day looking into this polar shift.
When most people hear North Pole, they think of Santa Claus. And while he'll always be at the very top of the world,
there's also a magnetic pole, which is produced by fluctuations or flow of iron in the core of the Earth.
Dr. Chris Connor of USF explains that the constantly moving molten iron acts like a giant car alternator, creating a magnetism on a planetary scale with a magnetic north and south pole.
But over the last few decades, it's been moving, and now it's moved all the way from northern Canada into northern Siberia.
Which means what your compass shows as north in Tampa Bay isn't really north. And this is a problem for airports.
When a pilot navigates, he needs to find which is the correct runway to land in or take off on. So he uses his compass in his cockpit to orient himself. They'll tell him that he's on the correct runway.
Robert Burr of TIA says runway 36 originally pointed due north to 360 degrees. Or it did before the magnetic shift. Now it points just right at 10 degrees north, even though physically it hasn't moved. While the runway in question will always point to the true geographic North Pole, because the magnetic North Pole has now shifted, pilots who use compasses lining up on the runway may think they're in the wrong spot unless this problem is corrected. So TIA has resolved to paint new numbers to match the pilot compass readings. Now runway 36 is runway 1. But this may only be a temporary fix. Several times per million years, Earth's magnetic pole does a full flip. At first, it becomes disorganized, with new poles popping up in odd places like the equator, bringing the green and red northern lights to the skies of Florida. The last shift was over 700,000 years ago, leaving some to say we're due.
Some people have speculated that there's a shift beginning,
which may explain this recent fluctuation.
Iteman na sa nga yung rugaruan. Kasi ano, ang naksangin pangon yak tutukawak to. Ayaw niya padlayak sa junga. Ayaw saktaw na kamarik sa ang niyo siniglo. Manarang minatok sa kuya wala ko ma. Untuk kang iyakangan. Tamak ko adi yung naktangin. Ikong nga doon iman na wala ko sa mayakarwak. Tayo man na yun nila kami. Amma ang kawala ko sa mga migat amangan marawak sa marawak to. Tamak ko udlo yan amma kanoy liwatak sa madagat luting. Sida kanoy liwat. Ila nuna kanoy liwatak sa madagat. Tayo man na ulwak sa iman na dyan ang watak ko ningin. Abong nga udlo nila iman nabidwa sa kaya kalawak sa iman na dyan kaya ang arak sa bit. Tawong ko na lang ningin doon. Ano kita na mga akwadak ko yung ning ano. Wag niya katiya ko na tuwaro siya ma yuto ka doon eh. Nagkisuyak to haro yun ang nasawarok to. Amalo, abang sa aming atin ano kaya haro to tayo na ano kaga yung ito haro sa mayoktahan na tawangan. Mana ano ka sang iyo haro magayon na to ni tawangan. To imon na sila ko yun nilo. Uang niyo aji pa do haro wildo niyo.